Brighton. The place, the nice place. Graham Potter's left there now. And, of course, they'll be looking for new managers, John. Andy Peeler. Not Andy Peeler.
I thought you were going to say Andy Peters.
Andy Peters. He's the new manager. Andy Peters. No, Andy Peeler of The Athletic. Andy Naylor, of course, I'm referring to.
What is Andy Peters doing these days?
I don't know who Andy Peters is. I was
He's
just
a BBC
trying to join
presenter.
in the riff.
Live and kicking back in the day.
Alive and kicking.
He's had a very Roberto Di Matteo sort of career.
Would
right?
he make a good Brighton manager? It's possible. Andy Peters, let's look.
Do you not remember Andy Peters? Is it before? Oh, that's depressing.
Maybe it's before my
your
time.
Certainly, Andy with a Y.
Andy with an I. Yeah, I recognise Andy Peters. I recognise
certainly
him.
an elite Saturday morning children's TV presenter.
And is there anything more, really, to being
level.
Brighton manager? Who could say? The squad's so good, it manages itself. But Andy Naylor doesn't think so. Andy Naylor of The Athletic, who's written a piece about this, if you want to whet your appetite with that. But, John, there's a few different names circling not the drain of Brighton, circling the golden trophy of Brighton. Who are they?
Who's circling?
Who are the names?
Seagulls. That would have been a nice metaphor.
Oh, God, that would have been good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And you could have even just gone into the
following
Eric
the
Cantona.
trauma
Yeah, exactly.
of Brighton, the managerial job. Who are these people so that you can pronounce the first name and not me?
Yeah. I asked my Norwegian friend how you pronounce this, and he didn't get back to me. So
Right.
Thanks, Mads. But I'm saying Kjetil Knutsen because I've heard people say that before.
Okay.
He's the
KJ.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it, but whatever. Like
Bodø Glimt manager.
Yeah,
Bodø Glimt, the team I heard oft mentioned recently. Why is that? Are they good?
They've been pretty good in European competitions. So they had that famous, I think it's 6-0 win over Jose Mourinho's Roma.
Oh yes, that was them.
Group stages, yes, that was them, and they're playing like a super fun brand of football. High pressing, super positional stuff. So like
they're in Arsenal's Europa League group this year, I believe.
Yes,
yeah.
And so they're sort of playing like attractive football. TM. So
right.
he's obviously on people's radars because of this.
Okay.
It does seem as though Brighton have sort of gone through the list of like who are the up and coming managers around Europe. So Knutsen should definitely be on that list, and I think that it would just be fun. Like any of these managers would be fun. Ange Postecoglou was mentioned as well. Very similar to Kjetil Knutsen as well. So high pressing, high intensity, lots of positional
Ange
stuff.
Postecoglou, I can say recently, by the way, I've realised is the middle of your Venn diagram with JJ, because JJ's Scottish, and so therefore, and you just like possession football, and so therefore, and there in the middle, Ange Postecoglou, Celtic manager.
You're saying that my Venn diagram is possession football, and
his is
JJ is Scottish, and they just managed to.
And it gives you this blind spot about how popular Celtic really are. Anyway, just in terms of making YouTube videos for a wider audience, not within Scotland. Don't worry, Scotland, it's all fine. Roberto De Zerbi is the next one.
Another fun manager.
Yeah.
Slightly different to the other two we just mentioned, but again, another manager who has really interesting ideas in possession.
How so different?
So I would say that De Zerbi is probably closer to someone like Antonio Conte in that he likes to have his team do really deep build-up and bait oppositions in to generate space ahead of them, but does it to like an incredible degree. So you'll see like 8 players for his teams in the penalty area in build-up, sort of really baiting the opposition in. And then in terms of like forward areas, like quite a few interesting ideas. So again, he's a possession manager, but usually when we talk about possession managers, they usually want to create space when they have the ball. But I think De Zerbi is doing interesting things in terms of like possession but with narrowness, so that you can then spring counter pressures, because that's the big debate in terms of like if you're going to play counter pressing football, if you're a possession side, you want to win the ball back quickly so that you don't get countered on, but you also want to get space, and he sort of developed this hybrid idea of being able to be narrower in possession, so do a lot of sort of rondo work. So again, there's some similar stuff to what we're seeing in deep possession, like really intricate passing plays to get the ball through as well. So yeah, I think again he would. It's funny for me to sort of talk about this because these are managers that I would just love to see in the Premier League. Whether or not I would love to see them as a fan of that team, I don't know. But I think these are all super exciting managers who it would be great to have in the Premier League.
Liam, if you were to pick a manager for Brighton, and it need not be one of these types, who would you pick?
I mean, I think someone like Thomas Frank was linked from Brentford. and that feels like it would be a good fit. Probably one of the more expensive choices, I would imagine, because you're signing him from the less established Brighton,
the other one,
essentially.
Yeah.
And Brentford are certainly no mugs, so I doubt they would let him go cheaply. But he does seem like, in terms of his way of working, pragmatic, but very sort of sophisticated view of football and setting up teams. That he would fit with the culture there. Whoever comes in will have to bring a fairly extensive coaching team, won't they? Because Potter has taken pretty much everything bar the furniture with him to Chelsea.
And the staplers. Yeah. I would choose Ian Evatt of Bolton, because A, I'm a cool guy, and B, I spoke to him once, and he seemed very intelligent to me. He really did. It doesn't take that much to impress me, but he seemed like a good one. He was the one. If you're a subscriber to The Athletic, go back and find the Barcelona piece that Stuart James wrote a couple of years ago. That was very interesting when he was at AFC Barrow, non-league team, and managed to get them playing like Barcelona. You got that, didn't you? You got that. Yeah.
AFC Barrow.
Yeah, AFC Barrow. Who would you pick there, John?
I mean, any of those
three
that we mentioned. But I think Thomas Frank's a good shout as well. I wouldn't pick Ian Evatt.
Right.
Because you're wrong.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and Rafa Honigstein. There are journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.